Well, sunshine, glad you're here. Should have knocked, didn't hear you come in. Hey, don't pay no attention to that. Ain't what you think it is. Ain't what you think it is at all. It's a reactor. Yeah, that's it, a reactor. A nuclear reactor. Yeah, it's nuclear. Solar-powered nuclear reactor. That's the ticket. That's what it is for grinding chicken feed. Yeah. It's a solar-powered nuclear reactor for grinding chicken feed at night. At night, it's solar-powered nuclear reactor for grinding chicken feed at night. Don't pay no attention to that. Top secret government issue. My eyes are up here. Come on, my eyes are up here, guys. Don't pay no attention to that. Got a video for you today. Out here splitting some firewood a day or two ago. I'm going to narrate a little bit for you because that guy out there doing it, he's a lazy bum. Won't talk. Got a face for radio and a voice for newspaper. You don't want to hear him anyhow. He's the worst of the worst. Follow me out there. We'll go out and see him. Don't pay no attention to this at all. Ain't got nothing to do with chainsaws. Chicken feed. It's all about chicken feed. Alright guys, what I want to show you today is basically the whole operation. How this wagon helped save me a whole bunch of back-breaking work. Then I run it through the splitter and pile it. There's some labor involved, but I've about got her whittled down to where this lazy guy you're going to have to watch here can get it done. You may have to listen to him complain a time or two and cry about his back and this and that, but I keep him hooked up. Now this wood on here is small enough to handle by hand with little or no difficulty. Worst thing on my back is bending over like I did just to pick that up off the ground. That's where this wagon's has already. I've already used it a bunch. That's where this wagon has saved my back so much making firewood. And we're going to get set up. We're going to show you how it works. Like I say, let me take out my earplugs. I'll quit hollering at you. Anyhow, all this stuff here is small enough to handle by hand. These big pieces, that's a solid piece of white oak there. Oh, I don't know, 18, 20 inches. I can handle a mountain if I got it right here close to me. And that's what I can do with this wagon. If I got to pick it up off the ground out in there, I'd want to split it by hand before I even put it on the log splitter. And then once you start that, heck, you just want to split it by hand. And I do like splitting by hand. It's nice on my back, nice on everything, but I've got a little bit of an operation sitting here. Other than just a little bit of splitting by hand, this takes most of the labor out of it. Which I don't know, I sound lazier and lazier all the time, but I guess I am. I enjoy splitting wood by hand, but I ain't got that kind of time. Yeah, there's all kinds of things I got to do this winter, or want to do. Got the old wood splitter fired up. That's the trouble with it. Made another video on it. Don't know if I'll show it or not. That little John Deere tractor running that. I think I got $153 in that tractor. I have to remember. No, I had to buy a U-joint for it, so like $40 U-joint. Under 200 bucks. Driving that old elevator. The elevator was free. That wagon I got 100 bucks in, so I watch out for bargains. Know a lot of people. But that's red oak right there, and it's partly hollow. Well, it's got a bit of a hollow in it. You see that one still up on the wagon, it's not hollow at all. Lifting them up off the ground to make your babies be born without any clothes on, and that this wood I'm splitting, and the reason I got hollows is it's leftover. It was waste. It was waste from a logging job. Basically just the other side of them trees you can see in the background. I got a neighbor that has about 500 acres, and most of it's timber. He's not mailing address neighbor, but he owns right next to me. They logged all that, and all that. Basically all the butts they cut off and all the hollows. I hauled multiple semi-loads of that home. A lot of it will still make good lumber. So basically we're into this firewood for just the labor. It don't work too bad. It works better actually right there with two people. big one. Watch out. Right now that wagon's setting a little bit high. You keep watching and we'll get it down here manageable here in a minute once we get those toppled off pieces. Them pieces that ain't gonna topple off on me. Them make you grunt right there. And a lot of times I don't load them on the wagon that big, and I'll make another video how I normally set that wagon up. There's just a lot of hollow stuff here. Oh, about like Thanksgiving, my back, my eyes said I could lift it, and my back said, boy, I wish you wouldn't have done that. And I said, shut up, the both of you, we got work to do. But I'll make another video showing you how I generally load that wagon, and it's a whole lot easier. But it don't work too bad by yourself. Reaching, it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's just I know what'll cause back problems with me at reaching out like that, throwing it in that elevator can tweak me. Here we go. See, we'll lift this up a little bit, and I'm really not trying to get the wood back to me right now so much as I'm trying to put here's a little Roxy girl, as I'm trying to lower the back end of that wagon just a little bit so I don't have to lift it up basically over my belt line much. I can roll it up. That's ash right there. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Pretty good wood. You guys will see this elevator here in a minute. It's gonna save us a lot of back breaking labor too. It works real good, and I keep trying to get to that. I keep getting sidetracked. This works real good with two people. If you got somebody on the off-bearing side, me and my dad, we split all his firewood this year this way, his log splitter, and I had a different elevator I brought up there. But we'll lift her up a little bit more, and we'll roll that wood back to us. Now I don't have to reach up towards the front of the wagon. I can just keep pushing it back to me, and everything's working right there close. And that's just so much easier to pick that up waist high and turn around with it and duck walk or whatever you need to do and get it on the splitter. That splitter will stand up, but I can't stand to work like that. Notice, oh Molly, notice that old log splitter. Yeah, Molly, come in here while I'm narrating. There we go. There's a view of the elevator. I didn't notice it till I was editing this, but well, I noticed it while I was working on it. But that old log splitter down there is smoking like ain't nobody's business. Well, what that is, there's an impulse line on that runs the fuel pump. And it really don't need a fuel pump. You can see the fuel tank's higher than the carburizer on it, or at least over half of it. So I just bypassed the fuel pump and I left the impulse line off. That's why it's smoking it. And believe it or not, as bad as this smoking here, I didn't even notice it till I was about done splitting. I looked down at my pant leg and the wind was blowing it on me and it was oiling. I thought, what the heck's that? It was the impulse line. I got to put a pressure test on that. I kind of took it apart and rebuilt it, put it back together, and it still just leaked like a sieve. There's a pretty good piece of red oak there, and I can pick him up. That's the beauty of this here. I can pick those up and waller them. Like I say, it's handier to have somebody else on the other side, but I'm sure my wife's in there doing other things. She got her own things to do too. It's so, I don't know. She goes in there and has a talk with a sock fairy every once in a while, and next thing you know, I got clean socks in my drawer, and I got a magic coffee table there that I set stuff on, and Next thing you know, it's all cleaned off. I think she must have something to do with the coffee table fairy in there too. I can just leave that thing piled plumb up. Next thing you know, it's all cleaned off and everything's put away. So I expect she's inside taking care of that, keeping track of everybody doing their job in there. So I'll split firewood by myself, and I don't mind it. I got it set up easy enough to do. Reaching over the other side's really only about the hassle of this. There it is from the pile end. Now you can see about halfway up that elevator. For you guys that's not familiar, this elevator was actually built for putting ear corn in a corn crib, and I've got a corn crib, but right up there is a brace, and you can see them little wheels on that come about halfway up that elevator. That's actually a cable, and there's a crank on it. When I get that pile built up where it's touching that elevator, I can just keep cranking that up. That thing will go. It's probably only 10 foot in the air right now. It'll probably go 20. I don't know. I don't get me to lying, but it'll go bigger than what it needs to do for a pile of wood. And if the pile gets too big, I'll just pull it back. It's on wheels. I'll just pull it back 5 feet, 10 feet, and that way the peak's not right under me anymore. And then I load off I load for like bringing firewood to the house, which is just around there, or selling firewood. I just load it on that dump trailer again with the skid steer and the grapple. I don't have too much touching in this firewood. I get to run saws a lot and run equipment a lot, which makes it hard for you guys making a nice video like some of them guys we all like watching that does a lot of hand splitting. It's easy for him to talk to you, and I'm sure it's pretty boring here, more boring if you don't have at least a little bit of narration going on. So hope my melodious voice kept you guys watching this long. Appreciate it. Hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. If today's this will be right after Thanksgiving. If Thanksgiving's already done and passed, don't waste it. Today can be Thanksgiving too. Just all you gotta do is give a little thanks.